Does anybody remember when Chris Burns was here for the Thursday night class before he taught the seminar?
Yes.
One of these throws, like he and I have been chatting all week. I did a private lesson with him last class, but that you guys were in here joining. But I'm gonna show one of the techniques he showed that night. But like we're working on knee on belly this month, okay, and kind of wrapping things up and working at escapes, attacks. I got to work on that position with Chris Howder when I was out in California in a private lesson. It was great. Been working on some of that stuff. I did this private with Chris. But one thing Chris and I have been talking back and forth about, and at the beginning of this month, McMillan, or the end of last month, it's like, well, what throws go to knee on belly? And really, the answer is almost all of the traditional 40 Kodokan judo throws have the potential to go to knee, right? Like an overwhelming percentage. Okay, so one of those throws is just the basic throw, fifth throw in judo, Osoto guard. Variations of that throw go to knee on belly, essentially all of them. Okay. Chris taught a couple of really cool, interesting variations that you don't see in traditional judo. Traditional judo, the rules as they've evolved, you can't grab the leg. Okay. Now, what I always see people showing is they'll have a single leg. Just let me have this. And they'll be here, like with the standing on the inside, essentially. You got to be careful here so they can jump guard. But they'll go to the Ochi. Okay, that's the inside trip. Even like the Gracie Combatives curriculum, and this is in an old school Helio Gracie technique book as well. Give me a kick right here. Just like that, right? That's what you typically see. People typically don't migrate and show the Osoto from a single leg. But I like it a lot, right? I've landed it a few times since we worked on it then. And we're set up from the over-under clinch here. All right? So what I want to do here is I want to make, right now if I go for this leg, it's heavy. Okay, so I'm going to drive to this back corner and make his leg light. Okay, get in a good base. Okay, here. So, again, I want to drive, make this leg light, and then I step up to the middle and then to the outside. Right here. My head never needs to cross his spine. Okay, this right here is enough. Once I grab your wrist, I'm going to start pushing it over and putting this hand on the bicep. I like the bicep because it doesn't involve, like, what if we're doing no gi and he has his have a collar? My knee is all the way across and my foot's looking his hip. If it doesn't do that, your knee's in the center, he can put you in, you get heel exposure for heel hooks. Okay? So when I grab here and here, I'm driving my head back over, but when I'm doing that, I'm pushing him into the floor. Here. Here. The control is really good on this. When you start trying to turn away to get in, your hip cannot proceed. Okay, so basic idea here is I'm gonna lean, pick this up, and step to the center, and then around here. Boom. Look how my leg goes all the way across at an angle. Foot controls the hip. Start trying to turn away. All right, look how I got this potential arm triangle choke here. All right. If he tries to turn away, he's got that weight bearing down on his shin, he can't do it. If he tries to turn back in, we've got transitions to north-south. Okay, so let's look one more time. Here, here. Near side wrist, start pushing that arm across. Leg goes all the way across. If I go all the way across his hip line, sometimes we can do that. But also if he's flat on his back, he can bridge. And you gotta be very pliable to not lose your balance when that happens. You gotta be able to kind of spring up and down with it. When you're diagonal here, you don't, you get as much control, but you get a little better balance, right? So I really like this diagonal control for whether he's turning either way, right? So a lot of people play knee right here, and then does it across the center line. That's just because that's pain compliance. It sucks when you put all your weight right here. Move it all. Just move it all. See, like that made my knee come down, right? Move it all. Much more balanced, right? I'm not worried about toppling over. I don't have to take these big corrective steps. I don't have to drop my knee down or stand up or any of that, okay? So let's do that Osoto off the single leg, right? Drop straight down into knee on belly. Let's do that 1, 2. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I need to turn my heel out subtly. I'm gonna put my arm on the inside, or outside rather, of his knee. And then I form a connection. I drive with this foot here. Okay? Now at this point, I can start escaping, or when I was able to get up on my side, put that knee back up. He may stand. Go ahead and stand. Those are the reactions we're talking about. Okay? Come back down. We'll start with the dropping the knee on the mat. Okay? So when you feel off balance, so I don't proceed and do one of the other escapes, I want you to just slide that knee up. And I'm probably going to make you do it. Right? Here. Here. And that's how I want you to enter. Okay? Your turn. Turn your heel out. Connect. Connect. Freeze. Don't do that. Armbar. Connect with your foot. Drive and connect. There you go. Now start moving. Yes, that. Turn belly down. Come up to your knees. Yes, sit me down as a single. Good. Both hands on this side. Go back. We'll be a little more precise. Hand here, hand here. Slide up to my shoulder like a paper cutter and slide up to my hip. Now, pop up and slide that knee up across my belly. Yes. Okay, and here. So I need to start connecting there. Right, if I start, barely had to move out. When he slides down, I immediately come up to my knees, pulling that leg. Yeah. Stands up. Okay, connect here. When he stands up, I'm coming right down on the low single. And see the direction his toes are facing? That's the direction I want to pull his leg. Here. And then look. I'm going to stand up and come in here. Right across, yeah. Here. Build your base. All right. Start pushing. Give me a little more connection. Push me off with that. There you go. See, I had to respect that. Now pull my toes. Yes. Stand up. Clear that. Lean in. Good. Here. You're good. All right. Let's stand up. Exactly. Right. Or I would have singled you. Yeah. You incidentally need me in the chin. That only pisses me off. I'm still conscious. Right. Yeah. I know. Because I was grabbing a hold of your leg. Right. So lay down. Here. Like that. Here, this seems safe. We just backed up. I didn't lose my balance. But as soon as I relinquished pressure and I didn't have connection with grips or pushing, it's a problem for me. Turn all the way belly down. Pull those toes out. Boom. Here, pass. See that? Right? And then stand. Correct your balance. Here. Make sense? Let's do 1, 2. So I want you to establish control of the position like we've been drilling. Okay? Here, don't do that. Right? You ain't gonna do that if I turn your face away. Okay? That's one of the controls. I can go on the bicep. I can grab the collar. I can work deeper into the collar. I can control the shoulders, right? And then this grabbing the wrist or the tricep and pushing across. All great, okay? What happens when you start developing stability within this position is people start giving you things. People start making this mistake of pushing here, and we'll give you this arm bar or north side bar, right? Anybody susceptible to it? Let's say you're level 8.5 tired. It's your last round of the night. Somebody is putting you in the pain compliance kneel belly, right? You'll make a mistake. You'll push, and it'll be, but that's why we're training, to try and get rid of those bad habits and poor reactions. Okay, so one thing with a lot of throws, you will throw the person from like a side clinch, like a hip throw, for example, and you'll already have this. Okay, you already have the arm. Other times you have to make and present. Okay, so if I'm here and I start pushing your face away, right? Let's just say you're playing in here, right? And I'm playing like we've been discussing, and I start to push this face away. Address that. Exactly. Okay, here. Now I want to connect this elbow to my femur. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is push his shoulder away, taking the slack out of it, as I come under here, and he's already tapping. Okay, and I'm engaging my hip on that as well. He's already tapping. It's barely anything. Okay, so that pushing the face away takes the slack out of this submission, right? And controlling with that hip also. Okay, so like anchoring that arm here. Okay, now if I have this and I want to post on his bicep and swing here for the finish, I can. Okay, I can fall back for the arm bar. With this figure 4 arm bar, which I like after takedowns, but it's possible just stabilizing position. We wrap his arm here. We start taking the slack out of the shoulder and we wrap the arm. Okay, so here, what I want to do is, if he's here and I'm controlling, I start pushing this here, and look, he gave it to me. Now I've got the control I want, start pushing this shoulder here, and there's my figure 4. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Spend just a few minutes on that. 1, 2.